What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how wide receivers can become more creative route runners. So we're going to be taking a look at 3 different off-man coverage, press-man coverage, and kind of that in-between catch technique coverage looks, and how you guys can run routes against those looks that are a little bit more on the creative side. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Hope it gives you some value. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to train with us this offseason, we are going to be coming out to 4 more states across the country. We are traveling out for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver camp. So next stop on the camp tour is going to be Dallas, Texas. That camp is completely sold out, but if you want to join our wait list, check out that very first link in the description below also, fellas. And then we're coming out to Nashville, Tennessee, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Los Angeles, California. So information on all of that, fellas, is in that very first link below. So if you want to get some work with myself, my staff of coaches, 2 whole days, 8 hours total over the course of the weekend, check out that link below, you guys. Let's get started with this video. So first route here, we got this inside shade off man coverage look. So we talk about this look all the time, and he's going to be running like this 10-yard speed out. So normally, what do we want to do against this? He's inside shade for a reason, right? He's trying to protect the inside. He does not want us to run a post. He does not want us to run a dig. He is doing whatever he can to prevent that from happening. Now, he's susceptible to a lot of routes that can work to the outside if I know what I'm doing as a wide receiver. So a lot of times what we'll talk about is, you want to attack his leverage in this case. You want to try to attack his midline, get him to weave, get him to break to the inside, keep his leverage, because that will give you space to the outside. Now, something that we can do to make our routes look similar is instead of just attacking him, we attack him and then push vertical. So let's watch the thing full speed and then we'll break it down. So this wide receiver does a great job of stemming to the inside, pushing to the outside shoulder, and then breaking this thing right off. So this is a creative route because this looks a lot like how you would run maybe a post route against this. So when we have inside shade, first things first, fellas, when you guys are trying to run routes, it's very important that you pair your routes together. You know, there are many different ways to run a route. There are many different ways to skin a cat. There's so many things that you guys can do. But the thing that I try to recommend to everybody, because everybody's a different receiver, is make your routes look the same. So how would you guys run like a post route versus this coverage? You would maybe stem him at first, and then you would attack the outside shoulder. Because when you attack his outside shoulder, maybe his hips open up, and then you could slip back underneath. I know you wouldn't just square him up and attack him and then break in front of his face. So that's why this is a more creative route. He makes it look like how he would run a post route in this case. So he attacks his leverage inside initially to move him off the platform. Then he pushes vertical. He pushes vertical and attacks that outside shoulder to the depth of this thing, making it look like that same post break that he does, making it look like maybe he's trying to restack over the top, whatever it might be, but it looks similar to how you would run an inside breaking route. Rather than just maybe stemming him, rather than just attacking him the entire time, then breaking it off, we attack it first, push to the outside shoulder, get his hips to flip, and then we break this thing right off. That is a very, very creative way to run that 10-yard out, but it's all predicated on making your routes look the same, fellas. If you guys can make your routes look similar, it is very hard for a DB to get a tell on you. Talented DBs at the next level, they rely heavily on film study. That's all they do to try to get tells on us. Every time he runs this out route, he takes that inside stem. Does he ever take an inside stem again? No. So anytime that they see that inside stem, they're maybe going to sit on it. How does he run his post versus inside shade? He attacks my outside shoulder. Okay, I'm expecting that. But then we attack the outside shoulder when we're running an out route, and I can create a little bit more space and keep that DB on his toes. We have to keep him honest and have to have him trust his technique, because when he trusts his technique, which is having to watch his hips and react off of us, he will always be a step behind. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by this wide receiver pairing his routes together and making this thing look very, very similar. So now, next route we're going to look at here is from the same wide receiver, and this is an inside shade guy, and he's running a goal line fade. So this is going to build off of like a slide, hesitation, release outside slant. So I love this release simply because, again, it looks the same. When it comes to being a creative route runner, you look at all the best guys, Hunter Renfrow, Cooper Kupp, they're very good at deception. Every good route runner should be a good salesman, right? Because it's about making your routes look the same. So he comes off of here and he's going to be doing this slide move, attack the inside shade, and then use that space to run this fade. So he slides to the outside. Now, why is that slide so important? Because anytime that a DB sees that slide, he's thinking inside route, right? Anytime that he sees you slide like this, DBs are taught, expect this wide receiver to slide, give a move, and then run a slant. But we can use that to our advantage. We can use that to be very dangerous and very unpredictable. So now he slides to the outside, takes 3 steps at his leverage, making this DB think slant, and he really has no choice in this situation. Because if he wants to jump to the outside with that slide, we have him on that slant. But I know this is a design fade, so maybe I've ran the slant before. Maybe this is the first time that I do this. But we slide to the outside, 3 steps attack his leverage, because what do we know about his leverage? Just like off man, when he's inside shade, he's trying to stop a what? Trying to stop a slant, trying to stop a dig. So when we attack his leverage like this, and we hold his leverage, all that's going to do is create more space for me to the outside. Right? So it's important that we don't get caught up in just like sliding and then maybe doing like a crossover right here with a ton of space. We have to attack the guy's leverage in this specific case. This is a very, very creative route, but it covers the same concepts that we always cover. Attacking leverage, making releases look the same. Now, again, this is maybe a more on the advanced side, right? Maybe if you're a beginner, maybe this isn't something that we use. But the principles are all the exact same. The principles do not change. The principles of route running will always be the same, whether it's a different route, whether it's a different movement, whether it's a different release, but the principles will stay the same. And that is when you have to run a goal line fade and he's lined up inside shade, you got to attack his leverage. How we do it, that's where we can get creative. But at the end of the day, we have to threaten him inside to give me space to the outside for that quarterback to lead me, throw a high point ball, whatever it might be. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by this wide receiver setting it up with a slide release, making his routes look the same, and then winning on this goal line fade route. Okay, so now, this specific clip here, we got an inside shade look from this DB. Now, he is also going to be running a 10-yard out. So this is a little bit closer press, right? This is like 5 yards off. He's kind of like right in the way. We're going to have to figure something out with this route. So again, what were some of the ways that you would run an out route against this look? You could maybe attack his leverage, try to get him to weave inside, then break it off and just try to win the foot race. You could do like we did in the first clip. You could attack him, push up vertical, then break it off. Now, what if he takes it away? As a wide receiver, to be a creative route runner, sometimes it's about reacting. You got to be able to react what this DB does. He throws a different look. He throws a monkey wrench into my plan. I got to be able to react and react efficiently and still be able to play fast. So what this wide receiver tries to do here is he's attacking the DB's leverage. Going to attack him, make this move, and then burst back to the outside. Now, when we attack him here, this DB is starting to try to guess a little bit. He's trying to predict what I'm doing. So we attack him inside. He widens out a little bit, trying to take away the outside move, is expecting the outside move because when we attack leverage, what have we been doing all game, all practice, whatever it is? I've been attacking leverage, then pushing outside. So he attacks leverage. This DB tries to guess a little bit. We attack him. He tries to jump outside, and we give this little stutter, and we react. This is not a design movement. This is him reacting because that DB jumped outside, trying to be predictable, trying to predict what I'm doing. He's thinking that we were predictable with my movement. But that's the great part as a wide receiver is I can react off of what that DB does, and we have to be prepared to react. Now, again, you have to play fast, fellas. You cannot play slow. You cannot take your time with your movements because you're trying to read this DB. It is a split-second reaction. So working any kind of reaction drill as a wide receiver, anything where you have to react off of a DB's movement is always good to try to incorporate in your training regimen, in your training sessions. But we come off here, DB gets a little greedy, tries to take away this outside now, tries to start guessing on what I'm doing. That's fine. I could just react, take the inside release, and now I restacked it. Now I'm at the same spot. I didn't get walled to the outside because if he tries to force this and this DB jumps outside and then we try to run this out, he's going to squeeze me to that sideline. He'll be right on my hip, and that's an easy pick for him if I'm not open. But if I keep my spacing, I react to this and I'm able to get back over the top and restack, I could give a move, I could break this thing off and get plenty of separation. So that's the key, fellas. You just have to be able to react. It's no different than, let's come back to the very top. It's no different than maybe you have a DB who's lined up inside shade press. You give a move to the inside, trying to take the outside release, and he jumps outside, then you just react and take the inside release. Sometimes it's about reacting. Every time you come up to the line, you got to have a plan, but you have to be ready to react. And I'm not saying you're thinking about all this stuff either. I'm just saying that you are prepared for it and you are ready to go in case that DB takes away my plan. I'm not going to panic and I'm not going to freak out. That's why it's good to work different routes with different releases. You could run this out. You could run this 10-yard out with an outside release, and you could run this 10-yard out with an inside release. You're comfortable with both. So when you're thrown into a situation in a game where you have to react off that DB, you're comfortable making the cut, and we can still get separation. My plan doesn't just go out the window. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by this wide receiver reacting, seeing that DB take away the movement, and then take that inside release, restack to win on this route. All All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback, you guys. It's always great to hear from you. You guys really help keep the channel going, so we definitely appreciate it. And again, fellas, if you'd like to come out to train with us to one of our off-season training camps, fellas, very first link in the description below. We're coming out to Dallas, Nashville, Salt Lake City, and Los Angeles, California. So our Dallas camp is sold out, but if you want to try to get on the wait list, check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.